for Vuga Online News. Vuga Online.
Welcome to Vuga Online Radio News at this hour. Taiwan will not bow to pressure by Beijing and will defend its democratic way of life, President Tsai Ing-wen said on Sunday following a spike in incursions by Chinese warplanes into its air defense zone. Self-governed Taiwan's 23 million people live under the constant threat of invasion by China, which views the island as its territory and has vowed to one day seize it by force if necessary. The two sides have been ruled separately since the end of the Chinese Civil War in 1949. Tensions have risen in their highest in decades under Chinese President Xi Jinping, who broke off official communication with Taipei following Tsai's election 5 years ago and ramped up economic, diplomatic, and military pressure. Xi has made taking Taiwan a key goal of his leadership. On Saturday, he declared in a speech that the complete reunification of country will be and can be realized. The Singhu local municipality, which is based in Lady Grey in Eastern Cape, has sustained its unqualified audit for 6 years. It is a rare feat in a province where local government mostly finds itself in different stages of collapse. An unqualified audit by the Auditor General means the municipality's financial statements contain no material misstatements and no information is incorrect or missing. In a sad indictment of the state of local government and service delivery in South Africa, Singhu is one of only 27 clean audits out of 357 countrywide. Mposela has served 2 full terms as a mayor and is only the 3rd mayor of the municipality since its inception. Before entering politics 10 years ago, she was the deputy principal of Tlokwen Senior Secondary in Sterkspruit. She said in both her careers as a teacher and a politician, improving the lives of children was uppermost in her mind. We celebrate her. U.S. crude futures topped $80 a barrel for the first time since November 2014 as a global energy crisis boosts demand at a time when OPEC Plus producers are keeping supplies tight. Futures in New York rose 1.3% on Friday, popping above the key psychological level before pulling back. This week brought many indications that supplies will remain constrained. Saudi Aramco said a global natural gas shortage was already boosting oil demand for power generation and heating, and the U.S. Energy Department said that it had no plans at this time to tap into the nation's oil reserves. And a weakening dollar on the back of worse than expected U.S. labor market data on Friday also boosted the appeal of commodities priced in the currency. The granting of observer status at the African Union to Israel is inexplicable. That's the word from South Africa's International Relations Minister and her Palestinian counterpart, who have met in Pretoria. Both have condemned the decision by the AU Commission chairperson. South Africa will push for a reversal when the AU's executive meets in Ethiopia next week. As Govan Whittles reports, the Palestinians are lobbying South Africa not to let it stand. In the last 24 hours, the cumulative number of COVID-19 cases identified in South Africa is 2,911,497, with 816 new cases reported. 56 deaths have been reported, bringing the total to 88,292 deaths. The cumulative number of recoveries now stand at 2,790,653, with a recovery rate of 95.8%. 19,016,618 jabs have been administered so far. In your sports, South Africa faced off against Ethiopia in an action-packed World Cup qualifying match, and South African fans watched with bated breath as Bafana took the lead and managed to keep it until the end. Fasil Gebremichael scored the first goal at the end of the first half. Unfortunately for him, it was an own goal. And South Africa's Kevin Anderson advanced to the second round of the ATP Tour's Indian Wells Tournament after defeating Australian Jordan Thompson in straight sets 7-5, 6-2 in the opening round in California desert. Anderson moved up to 64th in the live world rankings following his 84-minute victory. He will face Italian 17th seed Lorenzo Sonego in the second round on Sunday, the 10th of October. In your weather, Pretoria will be partly cloudy and hot with temperature highs of 26 degrees. Johannesburg, partly cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 22 degrees. Cape Town, cloudy and hot with temperature highs of 30 degrees. Durban, cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 22 degrees and scattered thunder showers. Bloemfontein will be sunny and hot with temperature highs will be cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 21 degrees and extended thunder showers. Uppington will be sunny and hot with temperature highs of 31 degrees. Port Elizabeth will be cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 20 degrees and scattered thunder showers. And East London, cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 20 degrees and scattered thunder showers. For Vuga Online Radio News, I am Mongezi Makalima.
If you could see what I could see, you'd see the determination in a hero's eyes, the vivid colours of magical lands, and the sparkle of my daughter's smile. If you could see what I could see, you'd have a Samsung Galaxy S smartphone. For films, games, photos, and over 100,000 Android apps, the choice is clear. The award-winning Samsung Galaxy S, with our brightest, most brilliant screen, and now over £50 worth of films and games for free. The Samsung Galaxy S.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Vuga Online.
Such a sweet way. I like to spend my days with you, always the same. Such sweet consistency, but it's cool, don't mess with it. Leave it just the way it is. Baby, with you it's quite alright. So much better than it's been with the other guys. But I don't need a label, just leave it alone. Don't wanna tie you down, you're free to go. Baby, with you it's quite alright. So much better than it's been with the other guys. But I don't need a label, just leave it alone. Don't wanna tie you down, you're free to go. Yes, I like it, but I don't need it. I don't wanna be, 'cause I like it. Don't mean I need it. I
If this 1970s elevator music is causing you to bob your head and tap your foot, you may be experiencing symptoms of extreme boredom. Try new, fast-acting Subaru Impreza in hatch or sedan, formulated with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and Apple CarPlay for maximum fun and effective relief from yawning. Cure boredom fast with new Impreza. Talk to your Subaru dealer to see if Impreza is right for you. This sporty compact may cause prolonged smiling. Available Harman Kardon and premium audio system greatly increases the chances of new playlists.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
It's Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another great episode of PK Unshackled. I'm your host, Makawa Katide, and today I have a friend of mine. I remember, there's people that are constantly, that just come back into your life, like 2000. So, and my guest today, okay, let me tell you his name. His name is Ubaba Dhladhla. Should I say brother Dhladhla or Baba Dhladhla? I don't know.
I just say Dhladhla. I don't own. I own one of the titles, not both.
Oh, okay. But you must. The clock is ticking, brother. Anyway, so I've always known Ulinda. We've had many interactions. We have mutual friends, and one day I noticed a post on his Facebook page with the hashtag #HealBrotherHeal, and I started tracking it. So I started tracking the content to see what the discussion is about, and it hit home. It really, really hit home that, in all these things, these problems that are happening in the world, the pandemic, all these things, men's mental health is not up for discussion. So we might be suffering. We might be going through the most, but we cannot show the world, and most of us are angry, you understand? Most of us are hurting from whatever is hurting us, but we cannot say anything because Samatod. And when I saw that hashtag #HealBrotherHeal, I was like, nah, man, I have to get this man on the show, tell us what the movement's about. Because I believe that, let me tell you a stat, the highest suicide rate in South Africa is men. And we're not talking about people that showed evidence that they're struggling. No. Tomorrow, I might snap and commit suicide. So, Babulinda, we're gonna take a quick break, and after the break we just shoot. You tell me what #HealBrotherHeal is about, and we'll have discussions on the men's mental health, physical well-being, and all that. As a matter of fact, today we're talking everything male without being chauvinistic and patriarchal. So see you after the break.
Hi, this is Dr. Ngosi Mafuta. Catch me with Zakhele Sibanyoni on the Health and Wellness Talk Show every Wednesday, just after 10.
Hi there, this is Samohanguna. Catch me every day just after 3 p.m. for Vuka Sports Hour, where we speak everything sports only on vukaonlineradio.co.za. See you there. Please see you there.
Hi, this is Dumisani Makadlela, and you are listening to Vuga Online Radio.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Vuga Online.
Welcome back to PK Unshackled. I am your host, your favorite PK, Makawa Katide. I'm joined by Ubaba Ulinda. Why are you laughing? I'm the world's favorite PK. I'm lying. I'm not. I'm joined by Ulinda. Linda, #HealBrotherHeal. Tell me all about it, bro. Not all about it. I know it's but your interpretation of Heal Brother Heal.
So thank you, Meg, for having me on your show. And wow, Heal Brother Heal is a movement that's currently happening in America, and something that I was made aware by a female friend. And she was healing from a divorce, and she came across this content by men for men, and she started sharing it with me, and I've been consuming it on a daily basis. And what it has made me aware of is my own internal battles, my own internal, problems or areas that I'm affected in that I've been shelving. And, these guys, when they talk about the Heal Brother Heal movement, is for them to get better so that they can be better fathers, better brothers, better husbands, better citizens in this community. Because as you mentioned earlier, we are angry. And we express our anger in different ways. And hence the high levels of suicide, as you mentioned earlier, is when we feel incompetent, when we feel as if we are unable to provide. Like our backs are against the wall, there's no plan B, there's no plan C, D, count all the alphabet, all the letters in the alphabet, and we think in our minds, this is the end of the road, what do? We kill ourselves. So these guys are on a movement to say, let us heal from past wounds, heal from the present wounds, heal so that when we face any other challenge in the future, we've put proper systems in place that will help us to manage those crises that we have as individuals and as a people, or as men in general. So that's what the movement basically is all about.
Okay, now I understand the movement. Now, what impact has this had on you? Okay, let me tell you about me, right? I was married to a very an amazing lady, right? And then that ended, and it hurt. First of all, I was mad at God. Like, God, do your job. You can't let me serve you, and the one thing that's important to me vanishes. And I was also angry at myself for not doing more. Right? Now, number 3, I was angry at the male figures around me for not giving me the support, because they didn't know what to say. And that worries me.
Yeah.
That we are vocal about politics, about sex and sex positions and but we cannot discuss things man to man. And we cannot, not only that, we cannot discuss things that would heal us man to man. For example, me and you, we've never discussed things man to man. We've spoken about a lot of things. You understand? Now, why do you think society is like that? Especially ours. Why do you think that your healing and my healing are not top of the agenda? We are last there.
Yeah. So, yes, Meg, it's the same question I've been asking myself for a while. And I can't give you a straight answer on this one, because I think it varies with people. But I think our biggest problem is generational. Because your dad didn't do it, his dad's dad didn't do it, his dad's dad did not do it. And from back then, and Tina, as men, we are creatures of habit. We emulate a behavior that esibonai and just because your dad didn't talk about it, you just generally don't talk about it. Because men in your circle don't talk about it, there's no need to talk about it. So our systems, or it registers in our subconscious minds that it's an unnecessary conversation, because society says,
I don't understand that the concept, because what happens when you can't cleaner? What happens when your cleaner is not enough? What happens when you get tired? it is frustrating. Now, getting back
a
to
man does not express his emotion. Go and look for food.
Okay.
So sorry, I lost you there for a bit, but
yeah, it's fine. Carry on.
So because it's uncommon in our society, and it's a conversation that we've never had, and it's a conversation that continues not to be had. It doesn't seem, it's irrelevant. Our circles, we don't talk about it. Generationally, we've never spoken about it. You go to church, we don't talk about it. Even men's ministry, cleaner.
Okay,
that's the
my
message
friend.
that we hear.
My friend, do you think church is capable?
No.
Church. Let me tell you this: church cannot address trauma.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
Church is ill-equipped to address trauma. We can address all other things, but trauma, no. I'm hurt. Somebody died. Yeah. You understand? But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. So, Butlinda, so you've been posting, these messages about, anything and everything, right? What's the one experience that you can, you don't have to tell us, it's up to you. But what's the one experience that made you reach the point where you say, I have a problem. I have a problem and I need to face it and I need to heal from it and I need to walk tall from it. Because you have to have that one moment. Yeah. You have to have that moment of realization where you say, listen, let me tell you about mine. I woke up one day in the Val. I lived in the Val. I woke up one day. I was having one of those days. I was having one of those thoughts and there was no one. So if I killed myself, no one would be there to try and rescue me and whatnot. And I thought, right. So the one thing that I had, I've lost. I am unemployed. I don't even have airtime to phone anyone. And I think I had 60 cents on my phone. And at that moment, I said to myself, before I do what I want to do, let me just write my dad a text and apologize. So I wrote my dad a text saying, Dad, I'm sorry. That's all. And a few moments later, I got a text back from him. He said, whatever, son, you've done, it's okay. I forgive you. You understand? And I did not know that I was mending the relationship with my own father. But just sending a simple, by admitting that at some point, the disconnection with my dad was the problem. You understand? So that's my story. Sorry, carry on with your story.
I can relate. I was unemployed at home as well, living with both my parents, and I was just angry, angry, bitter. As much as I'm a good guy, in society, everybody knows me. But when I'm by myself, when I'm at home, when I'm home by myself, I'm angry. So I started to look and ask myself, what happened? And I realized, Wuti, because I've never been appreciated by my own father, never been recognized by my own father. I mean, from the smallest of things, and or even a primary school. You know how it is with multiracial schools. Ubaba Josh Ukona Lapa on the field and is encouraging his son to play. When your dad is not there, you can't even. When you get home, you don't even get that question. You go, how was the game? But I realized this when I was at home, unemployed, and things were really bad, and I felt like an epic failure.
Okay.
And not
Pause
even.
there. Let's take a quick break. After the break, we will discuss this epic failure notion, because I felt like that. I felt I'd failed everything about my life. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll break it down. What is an epic failure, and why did we feel like epic failures? We might not have been, but anyway, after the break.
Based on true events. Paris 2014.
Oui,
Marcel. Hope you and the family are well. Listen, you know those 2,000 trains that we ordered for the 15 billion euro, yeah? Well, we have a big problem. They are too wide for the stations, you know, for the concrete. So they cannot run. Yeah, I know. Anyway, the president has been informed, so you have to call me back. Urgent, okay? Urgent. Au revoir. Merci. Au revoir. Call me.
Working late tonight? Make it McDelivery.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
It's Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on PK Unshackled, only and exclusively on Vuga Online Radio. By the way, you can download our app on the app stores and I think the iStore. So yeah, if you want to join us on this show and many other shows that bring you inspiration, you can download our app on the app stores. So, Bablinda, before the break, you were talking about, you felt like an epic failure. Now, that seems to be a universal thing that a lot of men go through. And I'm glad I'm having this discussion with somebody who's more or less my age. Because, you know, and that's why I say some instances the church misses us, you understand? Because they still talk from a father-son relationship, not a man-to-man.
Yeah.
But in our 40s, but so that's where they miss it. Now, the epic failure notion, right? I can tell you that there are millionaires, multi-millionaires, whose wives and kids don't lack anything. They don't need, they don't want. Everything is there. But they still feel like epic failures. And I cannot talk for other races. I've never been any other. You know, I'm a African Zulu boy. And you know, the notion of to clean or listen, I know prayer is a solution to a lot of things, but if you still don't face your problems, they'll still be there. They'll still be there. So this epic failure notion, what can you say about it? How did you feel mentally, physically? How did you feel?
Sure, Mac. I can't even describe it, you know, because maybe let me answer it this way. Society has a timeline for men. We are schooling, you pass your different grades, you go to tertiary, you graduate. Once you graduate, you must get a job. And when you get a job, you must work. And when you work, you must provide. So there's a set life that men must have. And when you don't have that in check by a certain age, so in your 20s, if you don't have that figured out, you are started to be seen as a failure because Mac can't provide, Ulinda can't provide. You can't get your own place because that's how our parents grew up. But after high school, if they went to tertiary, was a blessing. If they got a job, and the first thing they were told, because you're what? You're a man. So your manhood was described based on the possessions that you had. And at that point, I'm at home. I am in my parents' house. I don't have a car. I don't have a salary. I don't have money. My own father does not acknowledge me as a man. So my opinion does not matter to him. It means if there's something that needs to be done in the house, I don't have a say. Because why? I am not a man in his eyes. So I felt like a failure that my mom, yes, gives me money, go do groceries. She's empowering me, you know, and not saying, no, stay in your room. The day you are fine, you'll be okay. But from my own father to sit me down and say, look, this is a journey, this is life. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't work. But because I was not acknowledged by him, I felt like an epic failure. And all my life, as a young person or as a child, you grow up needing that approval from your father. Let's just take it back to scripture. When Jesus Christ was being baptized by John the Baptist, what's the first words that come from heaven? This is my son, whom I am well pleased in. That's an approval. That's an approval that sets Jesus. One day, maybe when we get to heaven, we'll have an emotional conversation with Jesus and ask him, how did he feel when his father approved of him? But for you yourself, Mac, I'm sure the day that your father responded to your text and said, whatever you did, I am proud of you. You know, I forgive you. And that, I'm sure emotionally to you, that did you a world of good. And that's the reason why you're here today and you didn't take your life. Imagine if your dad responded and said, Meg, you're a failure. I thought you would do better. How would you have felt? You know, maybe we wouldn't even be knowing Meg today. We wouldn't be having this conversation because anxiety would have given you that confirmation that you needed to say your role on earth is invalid. You're no longer needed here. So you might as well go. Hence why we still have this high level of suicide amongst men. Yes, for various reasons. But I believe that without that approval from our own fathers, we'll continuously feel like failures.
Now, this approval, this acknowledgement, now this is something else. So I'm good friends with my dad now. We spend a lot of time together. We chat. We do a lot of stuff. I'm doing his biography, by the way. So I've received the approval from him, but society still thinks, yo, lo mntwana kakhathide futhi wenze nama-dreads. Yo, you know, I didn't marry in the Pentecostal church. You know, I believe love is love. You know, this notion of you must marry in church is nonsense, man. Nonsense. The rate of divorce in the church is extremely high. So so I still need, or I don't need it, but there's still that lack of approval from society. And another problem is, if I was somebody else, that would break me. That, you know, society accepts my dad, what's and all, but, you know, me, they don't, because I am not him. I will never measure up to him. I will never do the great work that he has done. You understand? So pressure is not only in the nuclear family, it also, you know, society as a whole, church as a whole. You understand? I spend a lot of time with young pastors, you know, and you realize that the veil of that communication is still there. You know, they don't talk. It's easy for young pastors, especially PKs, you understand, to sit with their fathers and discuss Bibles, and discuss, movement of the Holy Spirit. But you never say, Dad, you have never said to me, you're proud of me. Never. And we're not saying fathers should be, you know, buy us expensive cars to show that. No, the words that embrace. Yeah. I force a hug out of my dad. I hug him. You understand? I hug him. You know, we have created this Hollywood superhero, Fabiani wearing Gucci deodorant, clad, cleanly shaven, manicured beard type of masculinity that does not work in real life. For example, if your own parents don't acknowledge you, Linda, right?
Yeah.
And your wife rejects you as well, what's going to happen?
You kill yourself, bro.
Straight.
Either you kill yourself or you go back into the world and you live a promiscuous life.
Yeah. You live a reckless life.
You'll go and seek it from somewhere, and you'll find girls that will approve of you.
Now, let me ask you this. In your healing, right? Was it your decision to say, you know what, I'm in this rut, I'm in this position, I'm in this scenario, I'm going to live, right? Or was it an external force? Because the notion and the belief in many circles is that, especially in the Christian movement, is that when you are in problems, whatnot, you don't have the power to get out of it. It's the Holy Spirit. They can say that, but I believe the initiator of, you chose Jesus over the devil, so you are the initiator. How did you say, you know what, I need to, what was the catalyst? And I'll tell you why I asked that question. What was the catalyst? What drew the line? No, I need to do something.
Meg, I looked at multiple relationships that I had. So I had started relationships, ended relationships, started relationships, ended relationships, started relationships, ended relationships. And I got to the point when I said, Linda, whoa, we're not progressing la. There's a reason why kune cycle, Ella, and when one lady I was dating, when we spoke again, and Umzwana, she said to me, Linda, ungizwise ubuhlungu.
Break. Let's take a break. Masibuya. Plus indaba yokuzwisa abantwana babantu ubuhlungu. Uzwisa abantwana ubuhlungu. All right, let's take a quick break. See you after the break.
The home of inspiration every day.
Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful.
From news,
countries across the globe have been hit by the COVID-19 virus.
Views.
There's a global trend to see an increase in GBV incidences, specifically domestic violence.
Sports.
What's he say? It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala.
And music to inspire you every day. This is Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Vuga Online.
All right, welcome back to PK Unshackled. Igama Makawe wa Katide, and I'm chilling with Ubaba Ulinda. I'm gonna call you Baba now. Kind of respect.
You are prophesying.
Yeah. I see her. She's coming in a Range Rover. Okay, Mnanam.
Yeah.
What's the way forward? So you know what? I feel that guys like you and me should unite and start our own forum. I appreciate what the American guys are doing, but let's start something because not everyone will understand the Hill Brother Hill. So we need to start a conversation that's distinctly South African, that addresses a South African population. So, because I'm really passionate about this. I'm passionate about young people and I'm passionate about men's mental and emotional health. In closing, what would you like to say?
Mac, firstly, like you mentioned before we went on the break, we need to have this conversation. So for me right now, I'm starting to share on Facebook these different comments and asking different questions and saying uncomfortable truths. And what's amazing is that those truths are liked more by women than men, but I know men read them. So I know that inside he's Benny. bathini iqiniso liyababa. So I'm hoping to do the same. I will be starting a platform soon. Continuing with the hashtag Heal Brother Heal and having different conversations on this. Conversations around marriage, premarital counseling, but that's geared to helping men prepare for marriage, healing before they get to marriage. Not, but having conversations on divorce. What's the impact of divorce on you as a man? I'll give you an example also of, in a marriage, there's two people, men and women. And when the family, let's say you become pregnant and the wife, there's a miscarriage that happened, we look at the woman and we give the support to the woman. But no one asks Meg, how do you feel? How does this make you feel? If you're trying to have a baby and the woman, you get to the doctor and the doctor says, no, Mama, Wena, you're okay. Your eggs are ready, they're fine. But Linda, your sperm count is low. How does that make you feel as a man? And those are important conversations that we need to have, and we need to heal so that the generation that comes after us, our kids, our younger brothers, the youth that we have today can catch on to this content, heal, and not make the same mistakes that we've made or react the way that we have reacted. And hopefully we could be contributing to lowering the stats of GBV. And through those conversations, we'll heal people so that they can be better young brothers, better men, better citizens, better husbands, better in society, so that we can be able to advance as black men. Because the voice that we have between you and I is as black men. We don't know anything else besides being an African.
Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think the anger is a direct contributor to gender-based violence, or South Africa is just a violent nation?
Sure. I think it depends on the situation. Generally, South Africa is a violent nation, generally. But also, in case by case, in a relationship, how you react is based on, a trigger that happened and you reacted to it in anger, because you know how we are. As soon as you don't have a solution, we're problem solvers as men. If you can't solve this one, you get angry, you don't see a way out. And as soon as you react based on your emotions, it's done.
Okay. Now, in closing, I would like to say thank you for joining us, Babulinda. And men out there, maybe you want to come on the show and share your story. We not only invite celebrities like Linda Dhladhla on the show, but if you have a story that will inspire and impact people and change men's outlook towards life, we're hurting. We are hurting. I realize that I'm still in the process of healing because I have this show. I've got so many issues, and most of those issues are not based on some other fact. The fact is that I am angry, and where does that anger come from? I'm healing, and thank you for being part of the journey, and thank you for joining us on PK Unshackled. I am your host, Makhalga Katide. See you next time. Adios.
Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu, ananipenda leo kuliko jana, baraka zake hazikuishi, si kama binadamu abadilikie, ananipenda leo kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Kuliko jana, sina kuomba Mungu uwasamehe. Wangalijua jinsi unavyonipenda mimi, wasingenisema. Na maadui wangu ninawaombe maisha marefu, wazidi kukuona ukinibariki. Ujue binadamu ni watu wa ajabu sana, walimukana Yesu mara 3 kabla jogoo kuwika. Ujue binadamu ni watu wa ajabu sana, walimsulubisha Yesu Masia bila kusita. Oh, na Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu. Ananipenda leo kuliko jana, baraka zake hazikuishi, si kama binadamu abadilikie. Ananipenda leo kuliko jana, kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana, kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana.
Wewe ndo nategemea, kupona Baba na kutegemea.
Amen.
Chochote kitanikatia, kuingia mbinguni utandondolea. Wewe ndo nategemea, kupona Baba na kutegemea. Chochote kitanikatia, kuingia mbinguni utandondolea. Wewe ndio nategemea, wewe ndo nategemea, kupona Baba na kutegemea. Chochote kitanikatia, kuingia mbinguni utandondolea. Maisha yangu yote wewe ndo nategemea, kwa nguvu zangu zote Baba na kutegemea, na kutegemea. Chochote kitanikatia, kuingia mbinguni utandondolea.
Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu. Ananipenda leo kuliko jana, baraka zake hazikuishi, si kama binadamu abadilikie. Ananipenda leo kuliko jana, kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo mimi kuliko jana, kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo mimi kuliko jana.
Wewe ndo nategemea, kupona Baba na kutegemea. Chochote kitanikatia, kuingia mbinguni utandondolea. Wewe ndo nategemea, kupona Baba na kutegemea. Chochote kitanikatia, kuingia mbinguni utandondolea.
Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu. Ananipenda leo kuliko jana, baraka zake hazikuishi, si kama binadamu abadilikie. Ananipenda leo kuliko jana.
You're listening to Vuga Online.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Zambe, bravo, Gaponi, Zambe.
pakin na matimba Inkari wa watabo Metabol na hida mero Sotopi sopeye 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 Sotopi sopeye
Welcome to Vuga Online Radio News at this hour. Taiwan will not bow to pressure by Beijing and will defend its democratic way of life, President Tsai Ing-wen said on Sunday following a spike in incursions by Chinese warplanes into its air defense zone. Self-governed Taiwan's 23 million people live under the constant threat of invasion by China, which views the island as its territory and has vowed to one day seize it by force if necessary. The two sides have been ruled separately since the end of the Chinese Civil War in 1949. Tensions have risen in their highest in decades under Chinese President Xi Jinping, who broke off official communication with Taipei following Tsai's election 5 years ago and ramped up economic, diplomatic, and military pressure. Xi has made taking Taiwan a key goal of his leadership. On Saturday, he declared in a speech that the complete reunification of country will be and can be realized. The Singhu local municipality, which is based in Lady Grey in Eastern Cape, has sustained its unqualified audit for 6 years. It is a rare feat in a province where local government mostly finds itself in different stages of collapse. An unqualified audit by the Auditor General means the municipality's financial statements contain no material misstatements and no information is incorrect or missing. In a sad indictment of the state of local government and service delivery in South Africa, Singhu is one of only 27 clean audits out of 357 countrywide. Mposela has served 2 full terms as a mayor and is only the 3rd mayor of the municipality since its inception. Before entering politics 10 years ago, she was the deputy principal of Dokwen Senior Secondary in Sterkspruit. She said in both her careers as a teacher and a politician, improving the lives of children was uppermost in her mind. We celebrate her. U.S. crude futures topped $80 a barrel for the first time since November 2014 as a global energy crisis boosts demand at a time when OPEC Plus producers are keeping supplies tight. Futures in New York rose 1.3% on Friday, popping above the key psychological level before pulling back. This week brought many indications that supplies will remain constrained. Saudi Aramco said a global natural gas shortage was already boosting oil demand for power generation and heating, and the U.S. Energy Department said that it had no plans at this time to tap into the nation's oil reserves. And a weakening dollar on the back of worse than expected U.S. labor market data on Friday also boosted the appeal of commodities priced in the currency. The granting of observer status at the African Union to Israel is inexplicable. That's the word from South Africa's International Relations Minister and her Palestinian counterpart, who have met in Pretoria. Both have condemned the decision by the AU Commission chairperson. South Africa will push for a reversal when the AU's executive meets in Ethiopia next week. As Governor Whittles reports, the Palestinians are lobbying South Africa not to let it stand. In the last 24 hours, the cumulative number of COVID-19 cases identified in South Africa is 2,911,497, with 816 new cases reported. 56 deaths have been reported, bringing the total to 88,292 deaths. The cumulative number of recoveries